Hi guys, today we are going to learn functions in Python. The functions is nothing but the block of a reusable code. The code basically code that we use the multiple time when we call the functions, like the parenthesis after a function name to invoke it. If you want to call these functions, you need to write the function name and the parenthesis to call the specific function. And the function is basically used for if you want to use the specific code multiple time, we need to write that code multiple time, but using a functions we can use that code, but using a functions we can calling a function, invoking a function, use that code in a multiple time. Let's learn function step by step. Consider consider we have these three print statement. Like the first print statement is learning functions in the Python to understand block of a reusable code. This is the, we can say, definitions of the functions. Second thing is, like, consider my aim is to work at a JP Morgan's to grow my careers in a leading like the global firm. Third thing is my aim is to achieve 25 LPA salary milestone in upcoming 6 months. These are the three statement are there. If you print this statement, see, consider you will get the result. Now my my requirement is I want to print this three statement uh, like three times or four times or five times or six times. I can say multiple times I want to print this statement. So what can I do with this? I need to write statement once again. Okay, so if I write this three statement once again, so I will get, see, so I will get the multiple result. If I want to three times, I will write the print statement three times. If I want to four times, I will write the print statement four times. But one thing is that we can achieve this like the we don't we using a functions, we don't need to write this statement multiple time. Using writing only one times and like invoking a functions, we can achieve we can choose to write this multiple write this statement in a multiple time. So let's start with the function. Consider, okay, how to define a functions. Like the definition, function is name is like aim, and you write the curly brackets and colon. This is the function. This is how we functions, this is how we write the functions, and inside the functions we are writing this three statement. So we have written the function definition, that function definition. Second thing, here's we have mentions, like after a function's name to invoke it, we need to invoke a functions, call a function. How we are going to call going to call a functions? We need to get out of the functions, and consider you have a aim functions. Using that curly braces, you are going to call this function. So this function is going to call and going to execute this statement. Let's see. See, we are getting the result. So now second thing, invoke. Now we want a multiple times, we want a result in a multiple times, so you can call these functions multiple times whenever you need it to execute the block of a code which is the present into the specific functions. So I am writing functions three times, so I will get the result three times. Okay. Now, second thing in a functions is we can pass arguments to a functions. We can pass arguments to a functions. That argument, whatever argument we are passing to the function, that goes to a definition as a parameter, and that parameter we can use into the inside the function body. This is the function body. Whatever we write inside the functions, this is the functions body. So let's pass the argument first. Let's pass argument one by one to a functions. Consider only two functions is there. So first argument we are going to pass is like Morgen. Second argument we are going to pass is Citibank. Okay, these are the argument that we are passing to a functions as a parameter, like companies. So these are the arguments we are passing to functions definitions as a parameter. These is company is the parameter, and this company parameter we are using uh, inside the inside the functions in a code using um, like the parameters we are directly using. Consider using a f string. Okay, we are using a string f. Okay, f string, and passing that company parameters. Okay, let's find the result. We are calling a functions two times, so we will get the result in the two times. So first, second print statement, we are passing argument like JP Morgan as an argument, that we are passing to company parameters, and we are printing that variable inside that block of the code. So first we are getting a JP Morgan, so let's write like, so you will get to know the proper code. So let's run once again. See, first we are passing the sync company as a parameter, that company parameters. First we are passing JP Morgan as an argument, so we are getting the JP Morgan as an argument. Second, we are passing a Citibank as a argument, so we are getting the Citibank as a argument. So if you, so third thing is we can pass the multiple arguments to a function. Let's consider if you are passing the second argument as a 25, or we can passing a second argument as 23. Okay, 23 as an argument we are passing. So yeah, let's run this code. See, we are getting the result. Why we are getting the result? So we are passing two argument to a functions, and we are defining, when we are defining the function, we are passing only single parameters, so we need to define two parameters also. Okay, argument and parameters count should be matched. So let's, and we are using this package parameter inside our functions using a f string. This is the f string. So packages, let's run the program once again. See, first, when we first invoke a functions, we are passing argument JP Morgan and a package. So that is going to these parameters, basically JP Morgan in the company, 25 LP in a packages, and we are using the two parameters inside our functions code. Like the first, we are getting a JP Morgan with a 25 LP package. Second is the Citibank. We are getting the Citibank within using a 23 LPA packages. So this is the definitions of the functions. We can say function is basically use that block of the code we can use a multiple time. We can pass the argument, numbers of the argument we can pass that during the invoking of functions. When we invoke a functions, that argument passed to a function definition as a parameter. That argument, this argument as a fast function to a function definition as a parameters. Okay, fourth thing we can is we can return the result of the functions also. Let's try to return result of the functions. Consider we are passing a two argument like two more arguments are like uh, x and y for both, x and y for both. You can, okay, not we need to give a parameters. Okay, you need to give a values, like we have 20 values, we have 5 values, we have 25 values, 26 values, we have 4 values. Okay, now we are passing this arguments to a parameter like mm, package 1 variable pay. Okay, Okay, now so we are getting, so now we are going to use this use these two variable inside the functions. Like consider we have a z is equal to package 1 plus package 2, and we are returning that z value. Okay, we are returning that z value of aim functions, and we need to store that value inside. So we can say ctc